Ah, shoot. Whoa. That's the wrong one.
failures. Mayor Andrew Ginther says ongoing change is crucial.
Well, I think it's critically important that we build trust between the community and the police.
The report also cited a lack of police training for dealing with protests. Congressman Tim Ryan, a 10-term Democrat from Niles near Youngstown, has announced he's running for the U.S. Senate seat, now held by Republican Rob Portman, who is not running for re-election next year. Several Republicans have already announced their candidacy. I'm Dave James on the Ohio News Network.
Live and local conversation for the Ohio Valley continues shortly, here on the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
A serious injury from an accident can be just the start of your worries. What if you cannot return to work? How do you take care of your family if you're disabled? At Gelner Law Offices, we represent seriously injured people and understand their problem. We know how to get you fair compensation. We will work hard to make sure you get the money you deserve for your losses. Don't go it alone. If you're hurt in an accident, call us at 304-242-2900 or visit us at gelnerlaw.com.
We'd like to help.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
I'm not buying till I checked on for.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there is one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doan Ford. You can be certain that you always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. Being in business for over 50 years has given Doan Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doan Ford. Online at DoanFord.com.
I'm not buying till I check Doan Ford.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker Darnell Foster with a look at your local weather forecast for your Tuesday. Mostly sunny skies, a daytime high near 81. Overnight low of 50 degrees under partly cloudy skies, clouds and sunshine mixing for your Wednesday with highs in the lower 80s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
All right, listen up, you guys. Morning. It's Tuesday.
Today is Tuesday. I am loving the sound of your voice.
Good morning, sunshine.
Crank up the radio.
You all ready for the big show? Happy Tuesday, everybody.
And action. Okay, let's do it. Hey, guys. You ready to let the dogs out?
All right, let's do this.
Yes, we are ready to let the dogs out.
Well, what are we waiting for?
It's showtime.
This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe and Brad Leonard behind the board in the producer's chair.
Boy, what a beautiful day of life outside. Looking out the window here, and the sun is up and streaming through. Temperature already 53 degrees at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. 53 degrees here at my home studios, and 53 degrees at the Robinson Auto Group Studios, downtown Wheeling, in the heart of the Ohio Valley. It's going to be a great day today, weather-wise. Summer temperatures are coming back, close to 80 before the day is over and done with, and sunshine and blue skies all day. So it is going to be a beautiful one. Didn't somebody do that? That's a line from a movie somewhere. Beautiful. What's that a line? That sounds like Jim Carrey, Biffy. Does that ring the bell with you?
Not with me.
Yeah, it's Jim Carrey. To beautiful. I can't remember what movie he says that in. Anyway, beautiful day of life outside. So get out and enjoy it. And it's going to be a pretty good week all week. A little bit of rain coming later on. We'll talk about all of that with Zach in just a bit. 7:10 in the morning on a Tuesday edition of our show. Good morning, Brother Biff. How are you this morning?
Doing good this morning.
You sure? What are you drinking this morning?
Water.
Oh, a little hydration this morning, huh? Nope. No, it's not really a coffee morning, though. Although I do have my coffee here. It's good. Hope y'all are I could use some orange juice, maybe. Maybe an orange juice kind of morning for me. I don't know. But I'm all set and ready to go. I want to kick it off first. But did you hear the story on ABC News, Biffy? Oh, they say it's ice. It was just ice from the rockets. Did you see that with SpaceX when it went up last week? A mysterious object went past the window of the SpaceX.
I heard it.
I'm telling you, we talked about this last week. I think it seems like there's been more and more of this kind of stuff happening lately. And I know, if you listen to that story from ABC News, they say, well, it was just apparently they think it was ice that had formed on the outside and broke off and went past the window. But I'm telling you, Biffy, I think something's going on up there. And I think the military is slowly, but now SpaceX is not a military operation, it's a private operation, but still, I think the military, the Department of Defense, is slowly but surely trying to get us to be thinking once again about those mysterious things in the sky. I think one of these days before long, take me to your leader. We'll hear about that. I think. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Well, they're certainly doing a good job of creating a stir, if that's what they want to do.
Yeah, it just seems like we've had an awful lot of, we had those really clear pictures that were released. That they were taken in 2019, but they were just released this month, I guess. They were 3 really clear, distinct, strange things in the sky. They don't call them UFOs anymore. They call them UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena. The acorn, the sphere, and the metallic blimp. Boy, they were sharp and clear. Then there was a private researcher, Jerry Gorbel, who released some video of strange things in the sky. A couple of months ago, the Department of Defense said that, they're going to be releasing a report probably in, I think this summer, right? Sometime this summer. I don't know. I think they're preparing us for something. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to our press conference. We would now like to introduce you to Zork. Hello, I am Zork. We have come to see you. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but I'm just telling you. I think something's going on there. This is not a headline story, but it's a story we're talking about, Biffy, because it's food. It's food. I see in the morning intel today that yesterday at the Ohio County Development Authority, they announced Longhorn Steakhouse is going to come to the Highlands. I love Longhorn. I'm excited about that. It's going to take the property that Logan's was in, Logan's Steakhouse or Logan's Roadhouse, whatever they called it. I was in before. Now, I liked Logan's when I was up there, but it shut down 6 months ago. I don't think it's been a full year. 6 months ago, something like that. That building will now be used for a Longhorn Steakhouse. Another example of a restaurant that's in both the mall and now the Highlands. Longhorn's been at the mall for quite a good while. It's now that's one of my go-to places for a big dinner. I said yesterday we were talking about Melman's and how I like Melman's because the portions are just right for old people, not too much. When I'm in the mood for a big dinner, a big steak, big prime rib, and baked potato and salad and the whole fixins, Longhorn's one of the places I go. One of the places. There are other good places too. But Longhorn is one of the places. So anyways, it's not a big headline story. It's not like, oh, this is gigantic news. But to me, it's great. I love to see more restaurants coming into the area. And Longhorn is one. We've had a couple restaurants close down. Applebee's at the mall closed down. Logan's itself closed down. Not at the mall, pardon me. Excuse me, don't panic. Don't panic. No, Applebee's at the mall did not close. It's still open. Applebee's at the Highlands closed. And Logan's closed. But Biffy, we've talked about this before. During the pandemic, we have actually had a number of new restaurants open up. The pandemic was supposed to be the time when restaurants were in trouble, and they were. But we've had new restaurants open up in the midst of the pandemic.
Yeah, I think we're lucky because of where we're located and everything, and just the way that the dynamic of the state is, and I think that's why people looked and said, well, gee, You know, they look at West Virginia and where we're located, and you figure, heck, if we put a restaurant somewhere that's by Interstate 70 that, you know, people can get on and off and get back on and go wherever they're going. I mean, even in both directions. I mean, even the same over in Ohio, and it's like, okay, let's give it a shot and see what happens. So I think I think just by the fact of where we're located makes us lucky.
And I think you are probably that is probably the actual realistic answer to why we do have some of these restaurants opening up, like Longhorn, going to be now in both the mall and at the Highlands and so on. It's a they're both strategically good locations. People driving through, traveling, want to go off and have a restaurant or have a meal. And when you're traveling, you know, I mean, it's always nice to go to the quirky local places, but it's always more safe. Is that the good word to use? It's always safer if you're traveling just to go to a place that you know. You know, go to an Applebee's, go to a Longhorn's, go to an Olive Garden. You know what you're getting. Now, locals know that you're better off. I should say better off. I like Olive Garden. But locals know that Undo's and Figueretti's are also great Italian places. But if you're not sure, you're just driving through and say, what if you feel like some pasta? Yeah, there's an Olive Garden. Let's go there. I think that's. But I also think one of the reasons we've seen local restaurants opening up as well, Biffy, is I think it's as simple as this. We like to eat here in the Ohio Valley.
There is that as well.
I really do. I think it's as simple as that. We like to eat. And so just think of, I'm not going to begin to try and name them all, but during the pandemic, the Char House in Elm Grove has opened, where Ernie's Steakhouse used to be. It's, I'm told, doing quite well business-wise. Out on Route 40, Salsa Joe's opened up, and they're doing very well. And they're going to open up a new location in the old Undo's building here in Elm Grove. So that's another restaurant that opened up. Martin's Ferry's got the Belmont Brew Works that has opened up. There's a new hibachi place, I think it is, in Martin's Ferry that's opened up. And I'm going to stop right there, but I know there are 3 or 4 other local independent restaurants that have opened up. And boy, I hope they all do well. I have to assume Salsa Joe's is doing well. You don't expand. You know, they're currently on Route 40 heading out towards Morristown. You don't expand from there to another location in Elm Grove, the old Undo's building, if you're not doing well. I don't think. I mean, I'm not a restaurateur, but I don't think you do that. So, I think it boils down to we like to eat. It's as simple as that. And I think because of that, one of the more popular groups, Facebook groups here in the Upper Ohio Valley is that Ohio Valley Food Fanatics group, of which I am a member. And I'm always, I mean, it's every day, 6, 7, 8, 10, 15 different messages pop up on there from folks trying new restaurants or expanding my horizon on local restaurants. So, bottom line, we like to eat. I don't just mean me, although I certainly do mean me. Yeah, we like to eat. I think here in the Ohio Valley, we just like to eat. We enjoy food, and we support. Of course, we've always supported local restaurants around here too, Biffy.
Yeah, when it comes to supporting local and just about anything, that's one thing that you have to say that we do well is support our locals.
Yeah, I don't know statistically if I'm right or not, but I will bet that I am. I will bet you that this area has one of the highest ratios of population to independent restaurants. I mean, we've got the Alpha Tavern, we've got Generations, we've got Salsa Joe's, we've got Undo's, we've got Figueretti's, we've got the West Sports Bar in Stratford Springs, and I mean, the list could just go on. We've got Nail City, River City, downtown. The list could just go on, right? And we always have here in the Upper Ohio Valley. And I would bet you that I bet you per population, take the population size of our area, and then look at the number of independent local restaurants. I will bet you that we're pretty high in the country percentage-wise. Again, I don't know that. I've never seen that statistic, but again, boils down to one thing. What is it, Biffy? We like to eat.
We eat. Yes, we like to eat.
It's as simple as that. We like to eat. 7:21 here on the Watchdog Morning Show. 53 degrees. Boy, beautiful sunny day outside. Let's look out the window. What's coming up today? This distresses me. The Ohio County School Board has cut their funding of the public library by a third. It was a very narrow vote last night, but the Ohio County School Board decreased their share of funding to the Ohio County Public Library by 1/3. It's going to mean the library's got to make some adjustments, and I mean, you could certainly make the argument everybody has to learn to get along with less, but I mean, the library is such a critical part, certainly in Ohio County in particular, and we're going to talk about that coming up a little bit later on. Yesterday, we were supposed to do a show on the rental inspection program in Wheeling, and I'm going to tell you, Ben Seidler, I wanted to tell him, stop, just stop. He apologized up one side and down the other, like over and over again. I am so sorry. I never do that. I am embarrassed. It's okay. Things happen. He just wasn't able to make it with us. But he's going to be here tomorrow on the show to talk about the rental inspection program in Wheeling. Meanwhile, yesterday, the Public Safety Committee of Council met and talked about that rental inspection program and some pretty mixed feedback they're getting. So we'll talk about that coming up this morning. West Virginia and Ohio both are going to lose a congressional seat when the census redistricting numbers are finalized, and that's going to create an interesting political story coming up over the next couple of years. On the COVID conversation front, kids could get savings bonds, and vaccines are going to be available at the basketball tournament this year, as we start to really grow our concerns of the number of people who are skipping getting their shot. President Biden prepares for a joint session of Congress. U.S. Supreme Court agrees to hear a Second Amendment case. Arizona Republicans, but listen to this, Arizona Republicans are going to recount the presidential election again. We're almost 100 days into President Biden's term. They're going to recount the election? The Secretary of State calls it a farce, their Secretary of State. We'll talk about that coming up. Our national correspondent, Tom Squitieri, is with us for all of those discussions. And a revisit with an author guest who we've had on before, Chuck Collins, was an heir to the Oscar Mayer family fortune. He was going to be among the uber rich. The Oscar Mayer family fortune would have devolved on him. He gave it all away, and instead became a critic of the uber wealthy. He's got a new book. Where did I put this book? Here it is, over here. He's got a new book called The Wealth Hoarders, in which he talks about the wealth defense industry. We're going to talk about that. Chuck Collins is with us later on this morning here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Also, who gets the best tips? Millennials are turning middle-aged, and a felony video rental? Yep. I got it all coming up this morning here on the Watchdog Morning Show. 53 degrees, 7:24 as the morning show for a Tuesday is underway.
You know, there's...
The world.
multistreaming.com.
Oh, there's something so real about living local, and I know without a doubt I'm not alone. And I'm loving living local. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Said I'm loving living local. WTRF is working for me. The Ohio Valley is where I love to be.
I'm Josh from Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. I hope you are staying healthy. We continue to respond to structural, fire, and water emergencies. We are combating COVID-19 with our highly trained staff and latest disinfection systems, providing preventative and reactive disinfection to facilities around the region, while working with area hospitals on isolation areas and air filtering. At Panhandle, we continue to follow social distancing and hygiene protocols. We are dedicated to our community, and together we will get through this.
Glendale. The Watchdog is protecting your yard. Join Howard Monroe, Hoppy Kercheval, Bill DeFabio, and Big Rick for the best live and local talk in the Upper Ohio Valley and beyond. Glendale trusts the Watchdog.
Miss a part of the show? Want to hear a segment again? Check out our podcast page at watchdognetwork.com. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
727 and 53 degrees under beautiful sunny skies and a really nice summer-like day is in store. We've kind of kicked this around before. If you were a business owner, would you want to put your politics on full display in front of everybody? You know, would you want to make a big deal about, I'm a Trump supporter, I don't want Biden people here, or vice versa, or we support Black Lives Matter, or we think Blue Lives Matter. Is it a good idea for businesses to put that kind of stuff out in front of the public? I don't have an answer to that, by the way. I'm just curious what you think.
I say let the public figure it out. If I'm a business owner, I want as many people walking through my doors as possible. So let them figure it out, and then they can go from there. But I'm one that I wouldn't want to do it. I'd let them keep coming in and out. I want as many people in as possible.
I think that's the side I come down on too. If you're a business owner, now you just want to run your business. Just come on in. I want all comers. I do get the argument if you have a strong passion about something that you want to use your business strength, if you will, to make your point. I mean, I get that. But I think I'm with you, Bippy. I think, now, I have been a business owner, but my business was talk radio, so you're expected to have opinions in talk radio. So that's a little different. But if you're a bar owner, a restaurant owner, if you're a retail store, if you're a pizza place, Papa John literally got fired from his own company because he insisted on keep going out and making comments about politics. A couple of stories crossed my desk that just make me think about this morning. There is a bar owner in Ohio, in the Cincinnati area, who says he will not show any NBA games until LeBron James is expelled from the NBA. This goes back to, and I'm not going to get into the argument about police brutality or lack of brutality or police going after blacks. I'm not going to get into that part of the argument, but that's what this revolves around. LeBron James had taken a stand on a shooting in Columbus, actually, with a cop killing a black person. So this guy in the Cincinnati area says, if anyone wants to watch an NBA, and he went to Facebook on this, now he's got signs in his bar. If anyone wants to watch an NBA game, don't come to Lenny's Pub. We will not air the NBA until LeBron James has been expelled. So he's putting his politics, if you will, small p politics, he's putting his politics up before inviting everyone in. Of all the places that you have debates, wouldn't you think a bar is a place where people come and argue about things?
The bar is politics and whatever other sports I think are the two arguments you're going to hear the most about.
I mean, that's part of what a bar is. You have a couple of beers, Now, granted that it's normally not a political, well, sometimes it's politics, but what do you think about this team or that team, or what do you think about that game? But also, I can picture guys hanging around a bar, sitting at the West Sports Bar, having a beer and saying, hey, I don't know, what do you think about what LeBron did? That's kind of what a bar is all about. Sort of the sharing of opinions. And sometimes fights. But,
yes.
So I think if I were this guy, I don't think I would take a stand like that. But again, maybe I'm wrong. And then another story crossed my desk this week, which is interesting. And I'm going to say it this way because while I tend to disagree with the bar owner on the political stance he's taking, I think LeBron James raised legitimate questions. The other story I came across was a guy who's complaining about Disney. And Disney tends to support more my political side of the aisle. Disney is among the most progressive companies in the country, probably in the world. They're very big with LGBTQ rights. They're very big with the climate issues. They're a very progressive company. And a guy wrote an article, it started out as a letter to the editor, and it turned into a big debate about, I love Disney World, but wokeness. I hate that phrase, by the way. It took me a while to figure out what woke was. I thought woke was what I did about 5:30 in the morning. I woke up. But I've learned it has a different meaning. The guy says, I love Disney World, but wokeness is ruining the experience. My family and I have been loyal Disney customers for decades. We vacation at Disney World every year. We take a Disney cruise or two. We spend a lot of money on Orlando. The article first appeared in the Orlando Sentinel. But I am rethinking our commitment to Disney and thus to Orlando. The more Disney moves away from the values and visions of Walt Disney, the less Disney World means to me. Disney is forgetting that guest immersion is the core of its business model. And he's complaining about, for example, some things he specifically talks about, cast members, that's what they call all of the employees who work at Disney World. Cast members are now permitted to display tattoos. He doesn't like that. He says, I'm not traveling across the country paying thousands of dollars to watch someone I don't know express their opinion. He's upset about something we've talked about before, Biffy, that Disney has pulled the Song of the South ride in their theme parks because it was based on some racist themes, if you will. The Jungle Cruise ride based on Song of the South. So it's another example of what he says is wokeness, and they've had to change it. He says the same goes with Pirates of the Caribbean. Disney has made significant changes to Pirates of the Caribbean over the years. I don't know what they've done to Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm not aware of anything like that. Pirates used to be one of my favorite attractions, this guy says. My family would always ride it our first day at Magic Kingdom. Now we don't even ride it because we don't like what it stands for. And I'm thinking this through. And as much as I agree with the values of Disney, and I agree with their policies, he makes a good point, Beth. He says when you go to Disney World, you're entering a fantasy world. You don't really want to be reminded of reality. You don't want, and it is true that the, quote, cast members, Bill Bryce has talked about this a lot because Bill's done the behind-the-scenes stuff at Disney. If you're playing Mickey Mouse or Peter Pan or whatever character you might be playing if you're working at Disney World, you are required to stay in character, to present yourself as that character. So if you extend that to the whole group of employees, this guy has a point. You go to Disney to enter a fantasy world. It's a make-believe world. It's a play world. It's not the real world. And again, I'm 1,000% behind Disney's policies. But he may have a point. He may have a point. The parks are less fun, he says, because immersion, and thus the joy is taking a back seat to politics. Disney, please return to the values and visions of Walt Disney. The customer experience should be the core of your business model, he says. And Biffy, that's kind of what you said earlier. It should be the customer first, not your personal politics. Immersion should not be sacrificed on the altar of political correctness and appeasing the Twitter mob. I hate people who use those phrases. It really makes me feel like this guy's expressing his personal political point of view. But I don't know. I think he makes a point. I think he makes a point. You go to Disney to be entertained, to go into a fantasy world,
to get away.
To get away. Yeah, exactly.
It's a getaway place.
Yep. And so now, if Disney wants to do things sort of behind the scenes, for example, Disney has now begun going solar at their parks. That's great. That's a progressive cause. They want to use alternative energies. Oh, please, nobody call me from the coal industry. It's not my point. I don't want to go down that road today. So if they want to go, if they want to encourage LGBTQ folks to be part of their team, I'm all for it. If they want to encourage people to, I don't know what, in their personal lives, and if they want to do this sort of behind the scenes. But when it comes to the parks, I think this guy's right. And I have a feeling this is the kind of guy I would fight with at a bar. I have a feeling he and I would not agree on much of anything. But I think he's got a point. Just as the bar owner probably shouldn't say, I won't show NBA games anymore, because your customers may want to see them even if you think that LeBron James is wrong. So Disney probably should be more careful about doing what they do at their parks. I think so. Am I right, Biff? You think I'm right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I agree with Disney, but it was an interesting piece I read, so I thought I'd share it with you. If you're watching on video, it looks like I've got a tiger stripe on my face. I just realized that now, because I left the door to my window open, so because it's such a beautiful day outside, I want light to come in, but I see now the light is like shining right on my face, the sunlight, and I look like I've got a tiger stripe on. I haven't painted my face, if any of you are wondering about that, if you're watching on the video feed. I'll close the door. This is probably not the smartest thing to leave it open. All right, team, we're going to talk about the weather coming up in a minute or so, and I'm telling you, I don't want to repeat the conversation we had yesterday, but I'm telling you, Zach and Steven are really going off that deep end there at the final segment of that show anymore. You know what I'm saying? Well, they taught some strange bird. Was it a bird or a flower they were talking about today?
Flower.
They just get a little bit, but maybe I won't. Sometimes I think Zach feels like we criticize him. I only do it because he's part of the team. We'll get that part of our team coming up in a minute, but first, another part of our team is Bill DeFabio. He's got sports, and before we get to that, Steven's got not the forecast, no, not the weather, not the sports. Oh yeah, Steven's got the headlines for us.
The WTRF Channel 7 News Update is brought to you by Thomas Autos.
All hands on deck.
The Royals. The Royals are in first place in the American League Central. The Pirates are in second place in the National League Central. On the mound for the Pirates, Tyler Anderson. He's 2-2. The Pirates are 4-3 in 7 home games. Former Pittsburgh Steeler, offensive lineman Marcus Gilbert has retired. He spent 10 years working in the National Football League. In the Believe It or Not department, I believe it. The price of cards are just unbelievable. A 2003 for Upper Deck numbered 23 rookie patch autograph LeBron James rookie card just sold. Are you sitting down? For $5.2 million. Unbelievable. Be safe. Please be considerate of others. Check on the elderly. I'm Bill DeFabio on sports, and we are the Watchdog.
Have you ever thought about having a podiatric physician examine your feet? Doctors of podiatric medicine set broken bones, perform wound care, and remove bunions. Common health issues that they treat include ingrown or fungal nails, corns, warts, and skin problems like athlete's foot. Foot exams are easy and can prevent many problems. If you can't walk, work, or enjoy sports activities without pain, what are you waiting for? To find a podiatric physician who is a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association, visit associationsadvanceohio.com.
Hello.
Darling, where are you?
Why, honey, I'm at my favorite store, Rule King. I'm getting my mom some flowers for Mother's Day.
Home and give yourself the freedom to do what you want offline. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
U.S. taxpayer expense. Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands is the perfect place to relax after a long day. Happy hour from 3 to 6 Monday through Friday. Get $2 off appetizers, $3 off domestic drafts, and house wine specials. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA. Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands with another steal of a deal. Get a steak burger and fries all day Monday for only $8.99. It's also Military Mondays. The Lube will take 25% off for all veterans, active duty military, and first responders. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA.
Come to the Nailers Marvel Superhero Night, Saturday, May 1st. Meet Spider-Man. Join the Marvel Superhero Costume Contest. Plus, participate in an in-game specialty Spider-Man jersey auction. Buy your tickets now for Marvel Superhero Night, Saturday, May 1st, puck drop 7:10, and for Sunday, May 2nd, when the Nailers battle the Indy Fuel at 4:10. Call 304-234-GOLD or visit WheelingNailers.com. This is Nail City.
Paint? No, Paramount isn't just paint. It's the #1 paint in overall interior hide and stain resistance, providing the most advanced protection in just one coat. And now you can get that same outstanding protection with our new Paramount One Coat White. This first of its kind one coat ready mix white provides a beautiful white finish. You'll find Paramount paint exclusively at Menards. In third-party tests, interior paint claims versus super premium home center brands in eggshell sheen.
Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Savings or mail-in rebate. See store for details.
From the West Virginia Broadcasting Hall of Fame, directly to you. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe, brought to you in part by Wheeling Hospital.
All right, I closed the door. I left the door open here at the home studio to my actual studio so I could look through the window, which is out in the other room, because it's such a beautiful morning and the sun's coming out. The sun is up and it's just beaming brightly. But then I looked at the screen and I realized that the sun was coming through my door and I looked like I had a tiger stripe on my face because the sun was sort of covering that. So I have closed the door now. I don't look like I have a tiger stripe anymore. But Zach, looks like it's going to be a really good day today. Maybe even hotter than I'd like to have it, but I'll take it. It's going to be a really good day.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Temperature-wise, we're going to be maxing out into, let's say, right around 80 degrees, and that's pushing my limits, especially for the end of April. Personally, yesterday...
I'm with you on that, yeah.
Yeah, Brother Biff and I, we were talking whenever I called in. Yesterday was gorgeous, absolutely perfect of a day. Couple clouds in the afternoon, calm, rather cooling breeze. Temperatures maxed out in the low 60s, but the sun made it feel a lot warmer. Spring-like day yesterday. If I could have every day like yesterday, I would. I would be cookie cutter the entirety of the work week over the next month or year or however you want to do it. But I'm not a fan of these jumps from spring-like to almost summer-like conditions, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, I'm with you. Although, I mean, yesterday was absolutely perfect. We went and got an ice cream cone after work over at Kirk's Ice Cream in St. Clairsville, and took a little ride with Teddy. It was just an absolutely great day. And you're right, it was the temperature almost not chilly, but there was it was cool temperature-wise. But boy, the sun was just so nice and warm, and just a absolutely Goldilocks day yesterday.
Absolutely, that is just right. I would agree 100% with you. It was just right. But today is going to be again same condition, mostly sunny skies, maybe a couple of clouds in the afternoon, but it's going to be a lot warmer. We do have a southwesterly wind that's bringing in a lot of warm air, but the winds will also be a bit more noticeable today compared to that calm breeze, that cooling breeze that we had yesterday. It'll be a little bit more prominent today, blowing from the southwest, right around 10 to 15 miles per hour. So it could be a little gusty at times, isolated gusts of 25 possible. But again, I'm trying to now think and factor that in, saying, okay, 80 degrees, but at least the air is going to be moving and mugginess is still going to be relatively low. We are getting back into the time where we're going to have to be talking about the soupy air. Hopefully that can stay back into June and July. I don't want to be talking about oppressive dew points in May just yet, but we are knocking at the door of having to do so here shortly.
Now, we actually need to be, it is going to be not just warm, but it's going to be really sunny today. I know I heard you on the Big 7 this morning saying you actually need to be a little bit careful about, exposure to the sun today, right?
Right, yeah. UV index values were high yesterday and today. It's a 7 out of, I think the scale, the UV index from the Environmental Protection Agency is a little bit funky in my opinion, but the UV index will be high today. So sun exposure of at least 25 minutes could result in some sunburnt skin. So I was outside yesterday shooting basketball at my apartment complex. So I actually did have to put some sunscreen on my shoulders just in case. I didn't want to be talking about hey, don't be outside without any protective clothing or sunscreen. And I didn't want to be the person that would kind of very not cowardly, but I guess shameful, saying, hey, yeah, I got sunburn on my shoulders because I didn't listen to my own advice. So hopefully that means you guys are. But yeah, sun exposure of at least 25 minutes could result into sunburnt skin. So keep that in mind, especially during those peak heating hours between noon to, let's say, 4 p.m. today.
Yeah, the last thing you need is the weather guys to come on tomorrow morning and have your nose all bright red because you got some sunburn on it or something. That will not be good.
It definitely would not be a good look. Not a lot of, I would need too much makeup to cover that one up, that's for sure.
Now, this is the warmest, but we're still going to stay warm. Actually almost hot for a couple more days, right?
Yeah, we'll stay in the mid to upper 70s for tomorrow, but the rain is actually going to be returning as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. And there's a chance that we see a stray rumble of thunder. But Steve and I were talking about this yesterday. I could go for a good thunderstorm just to watch from home. Dr. Dave can be in here tracking it, and he can do all the stuff live on broadcast and during the evening shows. I would be at home drinking, let's say, I would say a rum and coke or a lemonade, and just watching from my back porch. And yes, my back porch is not covered, so I would be soaking wet, but it would be so well worth it watching the thunderstorm off into the distance. That's probably one of my favorite things to do in the summertime.
We don't have a covered deck either, or a covered front porch. I keep thinking about maybe having that done one of these days, because one of my favorite things is to sit in the rain. Not in the rain, but to sit outside while it's raining if I'm protected from getting soaked. I love that. I'm with you. I just love to sit there and and enjoy the heavy rain and a thunderstorm even around me. I love that. That's just, but if I were to do that on my deck, I'd become like waterlogged, so I guess I can't do that.
See, I had friends over last summer, and we had a pretty good thunderstorm roll through in the afternoon and evening hours where after work, and I think it was on a Friday, so we were off work for the weekend. And I do remember I was outside. I had my 7 News jacket on, and I was just outside standing in the rain. My friends were taking all sorts of videos making fun of me, but I was literally in my element. And also, Howard, I know it sounds crazy, but I've said crazier things before. I love the smell of rain.
I agree. I completely agree. I absolutely, completely agree with you. And there's something about, I'm going to get a little philosophical here. There's something about a good storm like that. It's very cleansing. It kind of, everything sort of feels clean and fresher after a big thunderstorm too.
Right, it washes off all of the bad. It drops pollen levels, so everyone who has the seasonal sniffles gets a little bit of a reprieve. I agree, it just kind of clears everything out. I love it.
So some rain comes in tomorrow evening, then look for Thursday to be a pretty gray and dreary day all day, and then it will still stick around a little bit on Friday in the morning, but then things should clear up after that. And then we head into now we're back to, it looks like a pretty good weekend. I mean, nice, pleasant temperatures, back to more reasonable numbers. I won't say seasonable, but reasonable numbers, and a good weekend in store too.
Yeah, and don't forget that we usher in the month of May on Saturday, and that means a week from Sunday is Mother's Day. So don't forget to grab your mother's her present, since she is probably one of the, obviously other than your father, but mother's probably the most important figure in the family. So don't forget to get your mother's your presents.
Yeah, well, I know that at this house, because I asked my grandson, I say, Teddy, who's the boss of my house? And he says, Grandma. So
you probably like, good answer.
Yeah, so I know who the most. What's amazing to me, I literally yesterday I asked him this while we're having our ice cream. I said, now Teddy, who's the boss at your house? Oh, at my house, it's Daddy.
Don't let Mommy know.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Zach, sounds like, again, a little bit warm for me today, but a perfect day today, really. Just get out and enjoy it. And, if it's a little bit too warm, step inside or something. But the sun's going to be out there, so enjoy it in a couple of good days, and then nice weekend. Good, sounds good. And what was that? What was it, a bird or a flower you guys had at the end of your show today? It was a weird name you guys had.
Yeah, it was like a flowering bush. I had to do a bit of research on it earlier on this morning, but it was a flowering bush. Nothing, I don't think Stephen and I said anything too crazy today, but you'll have to stay tuned tomorrow to see what we have to say about tomorrow's picture.
I tell you, it's always a great way. It's a good transition between the TV show and then the radio show, because you guys get a little bit... You guys start to sort of, as I said yesterday, you get a little bit more like Biff and I at that last segment of the show when you talk about the pictures. Hey, Zach, I appreciate your time this morning, as I appreciate your time every day. Thanks very much. We'll talk to you soon.
Yep, we'll see you guys.
All right, thanks a lot. Zach Petty from the Big 7 WTRF TV. So it's going to be a real hot one today, Biffy, 80 degrees. But boy, and it's just sunshine beaming down all day long. I do like the sound of the sunshine, even if 80 is almost too hot for me. Biffy, do you like the rain? Do you like a rainstorm? No, not when you're golfing, I know. But I mean, do you like the rainstorm?
Yeah, every once in a while, it's good to have one. I mean, we need it, but not on Thursdays though. But yeah,
I understand.
It's always nice to get it. You know?
No, I like a good thunderstorm, good rainstorm. And if I can, I love to just sit outside in it. I can't, I don't have a covered porch or deck, but if I am someplace where I can, sometimes I even open up the garage door, just sit in the garage, watch it. So I do like a good storm. Do I have to do a break, or am I okay?
You're okay.
You sure?
Yep, we're good.
4 before the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. A couple of local stories to touch on very briefly here, and we're going to pursue both of these more in depth as time goes by. Yesterday, I'd hoped to talk about the rental inspection program being proposed by the city of Wheeling, being being proposed by Councilman Ben Seidler and being considered by the Public Safety Committee, maybe is the way I should phrase that. Ben got busy, wasn't able to join us. He apologized profusely. He will be with us tomorrow to talk about the details of this program, so I'm not getting into the details today. But they did have a Public Safety Committee meeting yesterday. About 20 people showed up to offer their opinions on this rental inspection program. The basis of it is this. All landlords will pay $25 per rental property. They will be allowed to, there will be an inspection checklist of things they have to meet, and the landlords themselves will do their inspection. The tenants will have a copy of the checklist. If tenants feel something isn't right, they're required to go to the landlord for things to be taken care of. If it doesn't get done in an adequate amount of time, then the city could conceivably step in. That's the basic premise of it. We'll talk more about the details tomorrow. And mixed opinions came in yesterday at the Public Safety Committee meeting. Some rental property owners, landlords, spoke out against the measure, saying it's not necessary, it's not needed. All landlords are not slumlords, and that certainly is true. But there were a lot of people, including some landlords, who voiced support for the measure as well. One guy said, and I think he makes a pretty good point, he is a landlord, and he said, the truth of the matter is, if the city had enforced their regulations all along, we wouldn't be at this point where some of these properties have fallen in such terrible repair now. And it is a good point, but you can't go back and fix the past. And then some of the landlords said, all right, yes, there are problem landlords, but what about problem tenants? Fair question. And it's something that I think they're going to have to consider before they put this into effect. Councilman Dave Palmer, according to the intel this morning, said that he does not support any kind of a fee at all for this. Ben Seidler says, well, you need a fee to cover some of the costs associated with it. Seidler with us tomorrow. We'll get into more details on that. I may get Dave to come in and chat with us about his opinion as well. The other local story we'll get into next hour a bit, the Ohio County School Board has voted to reduce their payments to the county library. I am really bothered by that. But right now, ABC covers the world. It's 8 o'clock.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Rules for wearing the mask.
Biff will preview tonight's game when we come back. I have a list here. What else do we have? That's the only local game we've got on the schedule this week, right? Oh, that's right. We have the girls' game. That's right. Okay. Yeah, I just pulled up my schedule. Okay. All right. We'll do that before we get to Squiddy-Airy. And just let me know when Tom is on the line. Thank you, sir.